Greetings, everyone. I want to welcome you to another episode of Conversations Over Coffee that is under the brand Heal and Thrive. So today's topic is going to be talking about the process toward your healing. And if you're interested in today's topic, then continue to watch. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well as the like button and share the content. So that way those who are on their healing journey or want to pursue their healing journey can, find the information. So let's get into today's topic. I have some notes here with me. So I want to talk about what healing actually looks like. Because a lot of times when we're going through, trauma and heartbreak, and then we want to get into that place of healing. We've been abandoned. We've been traumatized. We've been misled and manipulated and all those things that come with dealing with toxic relationships. So what we have to understand is that the first thing we have to know, like, where do we start? Like, where do I start on my healing journey? Because I hear so many people talk about go healing, go process it. How do we begin first and foremost the healing process? So the first thing I said is that we have to allow ourselves to feel it. And I know that can be really hard, especially a lot of people have gone through a lot of hurt and heartache through relationships and connections, and a lot of times feeling it will cause you to be triggered, because of course we don't want to remember pain. What we will have to understand is feeling the pain, crying through the pain, going through the emotions allows you to get in touch with your feelings. A lot of times, well, why do I want to feel that? What's the point of that? Because if you shut down your emotions, you shut down your feelings, when you get back into a new relationship, you have not healed that. So you're bringing that trauma and that unhealed pain into another person's life. And how you deal with that new person is going to be based on the trauma that you've done in that past relationship. If you were the type of person where, let's say, the past relationship, the person cheated on you, the person lied a lot, the person stole a lot, right? And you have not healed that from that, then when you get into that new relationship, then you'll project all of that onto that person. That person can be just the most, upright person, very truthful, very forthright with you, but you'll deal with them in a place of, well, where are you going? Well, how long you going to be? Well, what time you going to get back? And, oh, well, I called you and you didn't pick up right away. Or I text you and you only text me back, 30 minutes later. Like, what you doing? You can't control a relationship like that based on something you experienced in the past, because what that's going to do is it's going to make that person feel as though, well, why are you suspicious of me? Because I have not given you any basis for you to treat me this way. Why are you coming to me now with, you want my location? And I understand we can share locations with people because, sharing locations is a safety issue, making sure that your person is safe, understanding that where they're going and making sure that they, are okay wherever they are. But it's a whole nother thing when you're looking at location and timing people and not understanding that, this person is in your life. And if they're in your life and you know that they're a good person, then why are you now projecting your trauma onto them? Because you did not heal. You did not allow yourself to feel that pain. And what we don't understand is the person who you're in a connection with now is not the person who treated you or betrayed your trust. So you have to give everybody a fair chance. That's just like you. You wouldn't want someone coming to you and judging you off rip based on their past experience, because you said, well, wait a minute, how are you going to judge me and you don't even know me? How are you going to bring that to me and you don't even know me? That's unfair. So when we get into these connections and relationships and we have not healed and we project that onto them, then you're setting yourself up to fail in that relationship as well, because it's only a matter of time when a person is going to get tired of you micromanaging them. Like, well, I didn't text you because I was either in a meeting or I was busy, I was taking a shower or whatever like that. But when I get free time, I will text you back. And then you have to understand, you can't be so codependent on a person that you feel as though, well, I just need you. No, you need to go and heal. Because when we feel as though, oh, well, I just want someone to love me. I just want someone to be in my life because everybody to come in my life hurt me. And it seems like every time I get in a relationship, nobody loved me. That's only because you're not loving yourself. That's the part of the healing journey. It deals with you loving on you. So this way you become a better version of yourself. And now you're not looking for someone to fill a void of love in you because you're already feeling it. When they come to you, they come in to complement what already exists within you. They're coming to add to you, not take away from you. Because if that person leaves today or tomorrow, you're still whole within yourself because you're not going to stop pouring into yourself because somebody leaves you. What the hell? And I think that's what a lot of people have done. When people have been heartbroken and betrayed by someone who they feel was the love of their lives, once they leave their life, they can't function no more. Oh, they in depression. Oh, they just don't, I will never meet nobody like that again. Oh, well, why would you want to if they broke your heart? Let's think on that. Why would you want someone back in your life who betrayed your trust, who gaslighted you, manipulated you, lied to you, cheated on you, but they the love of your life? Like that, we got to make that make sense first and foremost. Because if that ain't making sense, because what the reality of that is not that they could have done all those things, but the version of them that you created in your head is not the version of them who showed up in your life. See, sometimes we have this fairy tale of what this person is in our lives, even though they're not showing up. We project, oh yeah, he's this and he's that, and oh, she's this and she's that. But you're not experiencing that. You're hoping for that. And that's the reason why sometimes we hold on to connection so long, because we're hoping that this person shows up with the vision that we've created about them in our minds. You see, but when that vision gets blurred because now the lighting the gaslighting comes in, the lying comes in, the cheating comes in, the manipulation comes in, then it starts to trigger us because like, wait a minute, abort mission, because this ain't the vision that I seen, you know, the flowers and the guests coming to the wedding, and I seen us living in this beautiful place with, you know, the money flowing, and we just this power couple. But the reality of that is none of that even exists. They're not even close to that vision that you have. So we have to understand, and I said this on someone's platform. I think I was on TikTok, and this it was this musician, and he had asked the question or something about love, or when do you, because he sings love songs or things like that, but he was talking about like what makes you or what was your last relationship that caused you to understand something about yourself. Like what did the last relationship teach you, or something to that effect. And I put in the comments, because it was like, when I realized that the connection wasn't what I envisioned it to be, I had to end up breaking my own heart. See, a lot of times we feel as though, yeah, the person broke my heart. Yeah, they break our heart through mistrust, through cheating and lying. That hurts us. But a lot of times we don't walk away even when they've done that. Let's be honest. A lot of times when a person lies and cheats and manipulates, we don't walk away right in that instance, because we're trying to make sense of, why would you do that? If you say you love me, why would you do that? Like, and we're trying to wrap our head around that and trying to see what their explanation of that is. And even though they can kind of skirt around it and give you all the lovely words to make you feel as though there wasn't a betrayal, but because we still have that vision of what we want that relationship to look like, we still hold on, right? We still hold on. So let me, hold on 1 minute. I got to get my cord for my phone to charge. Sorry about that. Okay, so what we need to understand in that part, when we know that we've been betrayed, when we know that we have to now understand, wow, either I have to break my own heart regarding this situation, because now I understand that what I envisioned this person to show up in my life as, they're not even close to that. So I created this scenario, this image in my head of what I wanted this to be, but now I actually see what it is. And once you start really seeing the bigger picture of what something is, then now you have to make a decision. Are you going to still go on with the fairy tale that you've created in your mind? Or are you going to deal with the reality that something needs to change, because I know I don't deserve this level of treatment? Okay, so let's go to the next one. Recognize your survival patterns. Okay, so a lot of what we call our personality is just pain in disguise. Are you always trying to take control in relationships? That might be the fear of abandonment. Do you pour yourself into others and forget your own needs? That's codependency. And that's what I was just talking about. How a lot of times where a person feels like, I'm not talking about, couples who like to be cuddled up and just like they have that, their love language is maybe touch or words of affirmation, or maybe they like to cuddle and just, be around each other, and they can just be in the same room and just be in each other's presence, but not have to be always in conversation, because they just like each other's energy. But what I'm talking about, when a person is so clingy to the point of where you're just like, okay, can I breathe? Can I breathe, man? Can I breathe, woman? And some men and some women like that, but you have to understand that even when it comes to certain patterns and behaviors, you have to check and see, what are your patterns in your behaviors? Are you insecure? Especially if you are in like connections and that you have, a nice looking man, a nice looking woman. You can't put your insecurity saying, oh, well, I know that when they go out and somebody's going to try to talk to them, are they going to take the bait? Are they going to, indulge in the conversation? Are they going to do this? And a lot of times that's still trauma coming from the past, from what people have done to you. If you know that this person that you're pursuing a relationship with is someone that you got to think that when they're not in your presence, that they're going to betray your trust, is that somebody who you really want to be with? Is that somebody that you really want to spend time with? Is that somebody that you really want to invest in, that you got to always think? And let me say this, have they shown you that? Because we can't go off on what was done to us in the past. We have to go off on, what is this person showing up in my life as? See, that's the difference when we begin our healing journey. We understand that people are not just showing up in our lives to and I just lost my train of thought because I went and unplugged something, but it's coming back. We have to understand that when people show you who they are, then you believe that part of it. Let me say it that way. When a person shows up in your life, let them show you who they are, not who you want them to be. And once they show you who they are, then you go off of that information. But understand what your patterns are when it comes to love. Either you're going to have to change certain things based on how you was treated in past connections. You have to change. If you were, this codependent person, you're going to have to change that up. And it only comes with you being secure within yourself. And I think I want to just show this now. My 42 card deck, it's called Loving Yourself First. And these are tools that I created for the simple fact and the simple point of you getting your boundaries and things together in order, so this way you start loving yourself first. So this is the front of the cards. It's 49 cards, and they have prompts on them that you can, let's see, recognizing unhealthy patterns. Let's see what this one says. Do you find it hard to say no in your relationships? Why? Reflect on a time when you said yes when you wanted to say no. What was holding you back? How can you practice saying no with confidence. So this is a tool that I created because if you have a hard time saying no in relationships, and the reason why I created this is because I had such a hard time saying no when it came to family members, when it came to friends, when it came even to like romantic partners or my husband, because I felt like if I said no, then they were gonna not like me, or they were gonna have some type of way, and I would just feel this like icky feeling, like now I'm just feeling like now their energy is gonna be off towards me. And then I had to start realizing that once I kept saying yes, 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 and people kept taking advantage of that, then I start getting burnt out. And a lot of times what we don't understand is that you can do so much, overextend yourself so much, people please so much, to the point now it could be one little small thing that happens and now you done blew up, and people are like, oh my God, why are you blowing up? I just asked you one thing and you're saying because I done up to here now, I can't take no more. But the whole point of it is that you're the only one that can control either, your own sanity. You don't have to say yes when you want to say no. And if a person gets mad at you by saying no, then that's on them. And to see, a lot of times when we're in relationships, the reason why it can be uncomfortable, because now we see now how if the person energy or motive or mood is going to change because we said no. How does a person treat you based on you saying no? And no don't even have to come with an explanation, like no, Michelle, no. Oh, you can't do no. Oh, Michelle, can you drive me over here? Because this is things I would go. Michelle, and this would be either for my husband or certain people who at the time that was in my life, and I would like, no, I can't do that. And they were like waiting for me to explain why. And before, I used to be explaining because I didn't like the uncomfortability that came with the word no. I didn't like how it made me feel, because I felt like being in my life and people using me, I felt like that's what I was supposed to do. Like that's what made me feel like I was supposed to do certain things. And when I done that, then I got the response of now people being okay with me. But then I had to understand and learn that it doesn't matter whether people are okay with you. How are you feeling at the end of you doing something? Because a lot of times when we say yes to do certain things, we didn't even want to do it. And we done it begrudgingly. We done it with an attitude because we really wanted to say no. Do you see? So we have to understand that when you say no, and I'm sure we heard this, no is a complete sentence. I ain't got to explain to you why. It's just no. No, I can't. Can't do that. And move on. And if a person's attitude, motive, mood changes up by you saying no, then guess what? That just shows you where their motive is when it comes to you doing things for them. And now you have to move accordingly with the information you just received from how they took that. See, we give people so much grace, but we give ourselves none. You see that? We give people so much grace when it comes to now us doing for them. But then when we look on the flip side and say, well, what has a person really come in your life and entered in your life and done for you? Because you empaths out there, yes, we overextend ourselves. We love to a fault. We do all of these things because we know what it feels like to be abandoned, abused, misused, mistreated, lied on, manipulated. We know what that feels like. So we're just trying to, ease the pain for somebody else to go through it. And honey, when God showed me my lesson, he said, let me tell you something right now. You want to stop always trying to stop people from experiencing what they need to experience in life, because you don't know what they have done to bring them to that experience. You don't know what I'm teaching them in that place. And you need to take your hands off of certain situations and issues so I can come through and basically teach them a lesson. Do you understand sometimes the reason why the things you're praying for and the things you're asking the Most High for and the people that you're connected to, the reason why he won't bring it in your life, he said, because you connected to people that I can't bless you with, because if I bless you with what you're asking me for right now, they going to use you up and you going to be flat out with nothing. And then you're going to sit around and looking like, okay, now what done happened? So in order for me to continue to bless you and put things and new things in your life and new people in your life, you got to get rid of that old. You got to get rid of some of them old things that's still hanging around and lurking around so I can bring in the new. But you holding on to these people for dear life, but you sitting here praying, oh God, I just want this. I want my finances to grow. I want my business to grow. I want this to grow. And he like, yeah, I want it to grow too. But until you get rid of that person that's going to sabotage you, that's going to take all the money, that probably ain't going to pay none of the bills, and you going to sit up here and be taking all that money, funneling it for things that I basically don't want you to funnel it to. It was supposed to be a blessing for you, for your new beginnings. But if I give it to you now, all it's going to do is cause you to be right back in the same place, maybe a year or two later. So see, that's the part of us understanding why we have to let go of certain things that no longer serve us. Okay, let me go to the next one. Grieve who you were in that relationship. So this is step 3. So healing requires grieving, not just the person who hurt you, but the version of you who accepted that treatment. Now that's deep, because when we were in a situation and we accepted treatment from a person who done us wrong, whether it was parents, siblings, family members, co-workers, friends, romantic partners. So we were in this energy of, okay, why did I allow this person to do this? And when I found out about it and I addressed it, but why did I still stay? What part of me do I need to understand? Where did I learn that from? Where did I learn that I'm supposed to be used as a doormat? Where did I learn that I'm supposed to continue to forgive? Yeah, I can forgive, but where did I learn that I'm supposed to continue to put up with behavior that hurts me? That behavior that doesn't honor me, behavior that doesn't respect me. Where did I learn that? And then I'm going about life and still in connection with this person, knowing that this person hurt me, knowing that this person betrayed my trust, knowing that this person has lied and manipulated me, but I'm still trying to hold on because I still feel as though some part of me feels unworthy. Or some part of me feels that I still need to feel some type of connection, even though it's not the connection that I want. And that's deep. That is to me so deep, because when I had to sit with that emotion and feel as though, Michelle, why do you feel as though you have to sacrifice yourself to make another person feel like you're there for them? Like, we got to get out of that mindset of, oh, well, this just showing how deep I love a person that, I can forgive them. Yeah, we can forgive a person, but when a person continues to show up with the same type of behavior, then it's now time for us to take a look at ourselves. Because when people step out of alignment in a relationship, it's I would say most of the time about what they're dealing with. It's not about the other person, because if there's things that two people don't agree upon, they can come together and they can find some compromise. They can find a common ground. They can speak to what is going on and how they can work through things. If you're with a person who doesn't want to work through nothing, it's always about them, it's either my way or the highway, then it's basically showing you what they're saying. And either you're going to rock with it, or you're going to now discover and learn who you are and stop betraying yourself. Stop self-sabotaging yourself for just something that doesn't even bring you happiness at the end of the day. So let's go to the next one. Okay, let's see. I was on step 4. Okay, so take radical self-accountability. This is where healing happens. So we have to take accountability for the part that we played, right? This isn't about blaming yourself for the abuse or the mistreatment. It's about asking, how did I abandon myself when trying to be loved? Did I ignore red flags? And we can always say, yeah, we ignored the red flags. Did I shrink myself to fit into their world? Absolutely. Did I keep going back because I fear being alone? Absolutely. And because, again, the illusion that we've created in our minds, we want to hold on to that fantasy. We want to hold on to that, what's the fairy tale, the Cinderella, and the Snow White. We want to think that we're supposed to just ride off into the sunset with the prince, and we just live happily ever after. But do you understand? We don't really see the happily ever afters after they ride off into the sunset. We just see them, getting married. Now they're riding off. But do we see actually what they go through that happily ever after? Is it actually happily ever after? Because we have to understand, when you're dealing with a person, this is what I used to teach a long time ago, but I used to teach, you have to understand who you're getting into a connection with, who you're getting into a relationship with, right? Because when you're getting into a connection with someone, they bring in either their trauma, their limiting beliefs, as well as their karma, if they have any, or if they are going through karmic cycles, and they're also bringing their generational curses, right? So they're bringing all of that into your life, and you're bringing the same thing, your trauma, your limiting beliefs. If you have any past trauma or lessons that you need to learn, or any generational curses that need to be broken, you're bringing that and now merging the two, right? And so when any of those things are not dealt with, they're going to come up in the relationship. This is what people don't understand. So sometimes you can be aligning yourself to a bloodline where there's a lot of cheating, manipulation, gaslighting, betrayal. And because that family has not worked through those curses, it shows up in the person who you're connected with. And you're like, well, why you gotta lie about the simplest thing? Why you an adult? Well, why you need to lie? Because that's basically the energy and the generational curse, or the cheating, or the manipulation, or the gaslighting, and some of it is theft. Some of it is sexual addiction. Some of it is drugs. So a lot of times we have to understand, who are we actually aligning ourselves with? Because we are you ready to deal with that aspect in your life when now if you either living together, or you walking down the aisle and living together with this person, and you're basically saying, okay, this is my husband and my wife. Now here comes all of these things start coming up. Now you start understanding how the family is. You start understanding how their thought process is, how they deal with problems, how they deal with situations. Because maybe in the beginning you was not seeing that. Or you were so in love and you were just thinking about the good times and the times you had. But now when life starts lifing, now you start realizing, well, damn, I really didn't know the person who I was with. They so emotional. Every time you turn around, they going through a breakdown. Or every time you're going around, they angry. They pissed off about the littlest things. And now it's starting to affect your energy. So you have to understand, who are you aligning with? You have to understand, is this person and this is what I want to say, two people who are on their healing journey have an awareness of what needs to be worked on, even in the instance that they make a mistake or say something out of turn or whatever like that, because we're human. They know how to come and basically, make amends or repair it or sit down and talk about it. They don't ignore it. They don't basically leave you, hanging. Now they going out hanging with friends, so you don't know what's going down, because all you know is their emotions. So now it's got you spiraling, because now you starting to now have flashbacks. Like, who wants to go through that? This is why healing is so important, because once you go on your healing journey, you know what it is that you want to put up with and what you don't. You know what it is that you want in your life and what you don't. Those who are on their healing journey, if you can't bring peace, like, I'm already in peace. right? I'm already in an energy of peace. So if you bring anything that is out of alignment of peace, then me and you can't rock together, because anything that disturbs my peace is not in alignment with where I'm going. And that's just the bottom line. So what else did I wanted to say? Okay, rebuilding your identity outside of relationships. Okay, you are not someone's partner. You are not someone's savior. You are not their rehab. A lot of times people want you to be their therapist. They want you to, save them from their emotions. Oh, I just went through this, with my mom, with my dad, and my sisters and brothers, and everybody don't like me, and da-da-da. So they got this victim mentality going, and only they can break that. They have to understand why they go through these things in their lives. Why do you keep repeating cycles? Who do you have around you? And if you got people around you that ain't really for you, but they just showing up because it's some part of a benefit that they're getting out of your life, but you keep them around there because it makes you feel important. It makes you feel like, that you got somebody that's there in your corner, when you know that these people are really not riding for you. So you got to check the energies of people that are around you. Are they adding to you? And a lot of times people just keep people around them because they're getting something out of it. And again, that's manipulation, because if you don't really see this person as your friend or somebody who you really rock with or ride with, they're only there because of a financial situation or financial gain. And people go into all types of connections based on finances. People will marry someone they don't like, because in their mind, when I was a child, I was poor. We were struggling for food. We didn't have nothing to eat. So now that I'm an adult and I got certain things going on, maybe I'm looking good, maybe I'm in the gym, I'm taking care of myself. So now I'm attracting a caliber of people that really want to, invest in me and be with me. And sometimes people will fall into the trap of selling their souls to be in a connection with someone because they have put in their mind, I will not go back to that life that I lived before. So even if I have to be with someone who I really truly don't love and want to be with, I will be with them because at least I will have the lifestyle where I'm not in poverty, but your spirit is. I don't care what is around you. I don't care what furnishings you got, what car you drive, what you eating off of crystal china. I don't care what type of home mansion you got. If your spirit is in poverty, then your life is in poverty. And that's what people don't understand. They think that all of these outward material things, it may say something in a moment. You may feel like, oh yeah, when people come over, yeah, they jealous of you because you got all of this. But what they don't understand, the devil still can come up in your house, whether you in a mansion or a hut, okay? And most of the times, it's those who be in the mansions where the devil is just rocking from room to damn room because of what the energy in that home is, what that energy of that home represents. It doesn't represent peace. Yeah, it could represent luxury. It could represent, well-doing, well off. But what is your spirit like in that place? Is it a happy place? Is it home? Does it feel like home? Or is it cold? And you just walking through like, yeah, okay, yeah, I got this, I got that. But there's no peace, nothing there. Stories I could tell you. Okay, so when you spent years being defined by who you are in a relationship to others, we lose sight of our own essence. Healing means rediscovering what makes you come alive. What do you love? What do you value? What are your spiritual gifts? What kind of life do you want to create with or without a partner? That is where real wholeness begins, when you stop living to be loved and start living to be you. Okay, now step 7 is do the shadow work. So this is the most important part. The version of you who kept trying, who stayed when you should have left, who silenced her needs to be chosen. Grieve her, thank her, and release her. Okay, so we're not going to deal him or her, who's ever watching this. Release that former version of you that, basically just stayed in a relationship because you felt that that's what you were supposed to do. Release that past person and recognize if that person tries to come back when you get into another connection, Start journaling, start going through that process again. Now, and I think we're at the, are we at the last one? Let's see. I think we're at the last one. Okay, shadow work is about looking at the parts of you that are hidden. And I think that I read the part was taking radical self-accountability. Yeah, about, let me see, because I got my papers all turned around. I should have stapled them so this way I would know. But it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Okay, so that was, yeah. Do the shadow work. I was right. Do the version of you that kept trying, who stayed when you should have left. So do that, right? So that way you can move on. Shadow work is about looking at the parts of you that are hidden, the jealous parts, the insecure parts, the fearful parts, the wounded child within you. You got to heal that inner child. You got to give that inner child what that inner child needs. And what I would say with that, because I used to do this healing program that was called Sozo. And what it would do is I would take the, the person who would come to me for healing, for deliverance, and I would take them through the steps of taking them through a point in their life that was painful. And I would say, okay, what were you experiencing this time? And it was like, either was loneliness, and maybe it was fear. They were fearful, or whatever was going on in that scenario. And then I would point them to, but you weren't alone in that, even though you may have felt alone. But I would try to kind of prompt them to see what was in that moment with them, that even though they may have felt unsafe, but maybe they didn't sense it because they were in it. So sometimes when you're going back and doing healing work, you're letting them understand and see who was around them, even in that time period, even if nobody was around them to what I would say in that moment. Now you're taking them back to basically speak to that child, speak to that inner child, speak to that child that was abused or abandoned, to let them know that even though we didn't know what was going on in that moment, but I'm here now. I'm here to heal you. I'm letting you know you're no longer in fear. You don't have to fear someone hurting you again, because I'm here to protect you. So I would take them back to a painful point in their lives to basically take them step by step to feel it, and take them through it slowly, depending on how they're responding, and then let them cry it through. A lot of times when people are crying or going through the motions, we want to go and console and we want to stop it. No, let them go through that process, because a lot of times what you're doing when you're trying to stop a person from crying, because a lot of times when a person is crying, they're releasing, we feel uncomfortable. We don't know what to do in that moment. But what you need to do in that moment is don't let them know, I'm here. I'm here for you. But just go ahead and release that. Give them the freedom and the space to release it, because everybody else has been trying to shut that part of them down. Everybody has been trying, oh, you don't need to cry. Man up, you're a man, you shouldn't be crying. No, if it's a man that, I would take through that, or if it was my son or my daughter or whoever it was that I was counseling at the time, and I would take them through that, I would allow them to feel that pain, because I understand through that pain comes healing, and they have to know that they are safe, and that speaking to that inner child now is bringing healing to that adult part of them. So that was really an important part of, when I was doing discipleship, that I really love, because I seen people get healed. I seen people get healed to the point where they were lighter when the deliverance was over. It was just like their whole spirit and energy was lighter. They just had this enthusiasm about themselves. So now the 8th one and the last one is learn to receive healthy love without sabotage. The final is the most beautiful thing, receiving what you once believed you weren't worthy of. Because when love shows up again, safe, consistent, nourishing, a part of you might panic, and you might think, is this real? What if they leave? And we start replaying those tapes, which we can't. But a healed woman knows how to receive without fear, because they are no longer performing, right? We're not performing for love, because we're already giving that to ourselves. They're no longer pleasing. They're no longer afraid of being seen. They are rooted, balanced, and whole. And they know how to set boundaries in their lives, where this way they're not self-sabotaging themselves, because they know if a person is for them, then they will go with the flow of investing more of their time and energy into that connection. But if not, then they'll know how to pull back their energy and be like, no, this is not for me, because a person has to show up for them in the way that now they are on that journey of healing. So I hope that this has helped you, and understand that this is just 8 little, tips or processes for you to go through. I'm sure that there's more, but these are things that I wanted to just share with you on your healing journey, letting you know that you can heal and be whole. And if you're on that healing journey, I have a newsletter that's called Heal and Thrive. I give out weekly content that helps you through relationships, through self-care, through sabotage, through so many things that we go through. And if you want to sign up for that newsletter, the link is in the description, so you can go ahead and sign up. I would love to have you. And if you ever want to reach out to me, maybe you need some encouragement along your journey, all you need to do is just drop me an email, and I will come and I will, be so honored to stand beside you as you go through your healing process. So have a great day. And, if this video has resonated with you in any way, go ahead and give me some comments below, so this way I can come and, conversate with you in the comments. So have a great day, and I'll see you on the next Heal and Thrive Conversations Over Coffee topics. Bye-bye.